everyone, Amandaseebadan here at Keller Williams Advantage Realty in Oviedo, and I'm here with Juan Escobar with Amerifirst Home Mortgage, and we're here to talk about Hometown Heroes. What is it? How people can use it? Who can use it? So he's going to explain all the different pieces. Take it away, Juan.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Let me get this screen shared real quick, and we can get this started. It's a pleasure being here with you.
There you go. You should be able to share now.
Okay. All right, perfect. Are you able to see that?
Yep.
Excellent, excellent. So let's talk about this awesome new program that became available as of June 1st. Hometown Heroes is going to really help out all of our frontline workers. So we're going to go over a little bit of what it is, how much assistance can you get, what are the terms associated to it, and who's able to get qualified for these types of programs. So for Hometown Heroes became effective as June 1st, like I mentioned, and it makes housing affordable for eligible frontline workers. That's educators, police officers, healthcare providers, and there's plenty of more. So it allows people to get down payment assistance and closing cost assistance for qualified home buyers. It's a lower first mortgage rate, lower mortgage insurance, and then obviously assistance for closing costs and down payment. How much it is, we'll go a little bit into it later. So there's over 50 occupations that are eligible to participate. You do have to be a full-time employee, and you must be certified at that specific position or job that you're taking care of. And we'll look at what the specific certifications are a little bit later. Yep. Here's the number of employees in Florida by occupation we're talking about that are eligible for this program. Protective service occupations, that's our law enforcement, firefighters. There's over 255,000 employees in the state of Florida. You have educators, instructors, teachers, 397,000 employees. Childcare workers, healthcare practitioners, physicians, nurses, doctors, healthcare support, veterans. In total, we're talking about almost 3 million people that we can help with this program. It's a lot of people that can definitely take advantage of this. So this is a first-time home buyer program. That means you cannot have owned a home or a primary residence in the past 3 years. So you may have owned one, but you haven't occupied it in the past 3 years. That's what's considered a first-time home buyer. Okay. It also requires for you to move into that property within 60 days. So that's very important to understand. So if you're purchasing a home and there's a post-occupancy agreement or there's a lease agreement that extends that 60 days, unfortunately, that will not work. And that's going to be with any conventional product or FHA. Okay. So if you own a mobile home per se, and then you lease the land, that's not actually considered a primary property. So you would be eligible for this. Okay. The final and one of the most important things is that, you must be able to permanently reside in the U.S. So permanent resident, U.S. citizen, and certain visas that have proven to be eligible, that you've been here for a while, you've had renewals, and you have non-expired documentation, it will be able to qualify for those as well. Okay. A really cool thing about this program that's different than what, let's say, is a Florida bond or some other programs is that there is no 1% origination fee. So 1% on a $300,000 house is $3,000. So that's super cool. There's the other regular fees that lenders would charge, underwriting fee, origination fee, processing fee. Those are still going to apply. And there is 2 additional fees, the U.S. Bank investor fee and then any housing compliance fees that apply to that. It's about $625. As far as where the DPA is available, it's available in the entire state of Florida.
That's awesome.
So anywhere from Pensacola to Miami to Tampa to Key West, as long as it's the state of Florida, it's eligible for it to be used. So that's really cool. And here at Amerifirst, we're able to originate anywhere in the state of Florida as well. So we don't have to just originate here in Orlando or Winter Park. We can do anywhere as well. And we can definitely help with this program anywhere. Perfect. There is a limited amount of funds available. So if you think you need it, if you feel like you may qualify, definitely reach out to us as soon as possible. There's $100 million in down payment assistance funds, and once they're gone, they're gone. So they might extend it, might additional funds, but as of right now, we only know about these $100 million available. And you'd be surprised how fast $100 million goes.
I'm sure, yeah.
So like I mentioned earlier, how much is going to be 5% of the loan amount. The max amount is going to be $25,000. So this could cover your entire closing costs and down payment, but I still recommend to have some sort of funds in case maybe you need some reserves depending on your file.
Right.
So having a little bit of assets still important. Now, depending on the program, you may not need those reserves, but just in case, it doesn't hurt. Right. This is going to be considered the bond alternative. So it's going to be eligible for FHA, VA, USDA, conventional products, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac. So pretty much all
a lot of them, yeah.
Conventional products, we're going to be able to use them for. As far as the interest rate, which is something everybody's going to ask about, us as the lender will not dictate what the interest rate will be. This is going to be dictated by the e-housing and the program itself. So whatever the rate is on the day is what will be available for everybody, regardless of your credit score, regardless of anything. It's going to be the same rate for everybody taking advantage of the program, and that's dictated on a daily basis. So one day it could be one rate, the next day could be a different rate. So, but your credit score specifically doesn't dictate what the interest rate would be.
So for the if you get a conventional or FHA, that has one rate, and then this would have its own rate, if I understand correctly.
Correct. And then, but it would be dictated by program. So a conventional may be a different rate than what the FHA for the Hometown Heroes program would be. But it's not dictated by us. It's dictated by them.
Okay.
Perfect. So it does have income limits. It's 150% of the average median income specific to the county.
Okay.
So that's something that we really have to look into. So if you make over the limit, unfortunately, you may not be able to qualify. 150% of AMI, typically, the average median income in Orange County, I think it's around 94,000. So you're talking about 140,000-ish, right around there, what the income limits for Orange County is going to be. If we want to talk about specific numbers, we can definitely go to that once you guys have a conversation with me, and we can figure that out depending on the location that you're really looking into.
Okay.
As far as loan limits, FHA and conventional are going to dictate what those loan limits are. So the max loan limits that FHA and conventional allows is going to be the max loan limits that the program allows. So for conventional, it's 647,200, and for FHA, it's 426,880.
Okay.
So those are great, and they've increased a lot from the prior year.
So they have increased quite a bit.
Yeah. At least like over 100,000 last year. 540, 250 was what conventional was. So that's a lot.
Yeah.
But they also had 20% appreciation last year.
Yes.
Very, very important things is the fact that, again, 5% of the loan amount capped at 25,000. That's the most that you can use. You cannot get any excess funds back. So it'll cover your expenses if it covers everything, but you're not going to use all 25,000 if you don't need all 25,000. Got
it. Okay.
Very important thing as well is there's a 30-year 0% non-amortizing loan. So it is a second lien on the property. It's non-forgivable. It is repayable when the borrower sells the house, refinances, transfers deeds, or vacates the home as a primary property. Okay. So that's something that's very important to understand. It's a great program because it allows you to get in the house, but in the future, you have to understand if you ever sell, you will need to pay that back. But
it's 0% and there's no monthly payments though.
Correct. It's 0%, no monthly payments.
Or what have you. Okay.
Correct. So after 30 years, if they pay that house off, obviously you hope to have hundreds of thousands of dollars of equity at that point, and you'll be able to pay that off.
Get that off. Okay. Very cool.
So there's a couple of documents that would be required. That's something that we can get into with each person specifically, just some attestation that you're applying for the program, copy of your license specific to your career, and then a copy of your verification of employment. We have to make sure it is a full-time position. Okay. So for example, I had an issue where it was a traveling nurse. As long as when we reach out to the employer and we ask, is this a full-time employee? And they clarify that they are full-time, we're able to do it.
Okay.
but it has to be full-time, no part-time.
No part-time. Okay.
So I wanted to go over the specific occupations, and we'll go over pretty quick. So we talked about policemen, so sworn law enforcement officer. Remember, you have to have certified documentation. So if you're correction officers, you have to have the documentation. Same thing, probational, firefighter. You have to have certification if you're a paramedic, EMT, teachers, counselors, social workers, psychologists, librarians, licensed childcare operators, instructors, nurses, CNAs, practical nurses, home health workers as well. As long as it's not statutorily required for certifications, but works for a licensed only agency.
Okay.
Healthcare practitioners, doctors, physicians, physician assistants, chiropractors. There is so many different occupations that qualify for this. Dentists, dental hygienists, occupational therapists. So we'll send.
We'll have the link to this too, so we can send this out and share this with everybody.
Right. We'll send this link out, and the opportunities are huge for this program. I think it's really going to help everybody that we value so much, even though the program has a set amount of funds, but it is available right now. So take advantage while you can, and anything we can do to help answer any questions, help you understand the program a little bit deeper, and just to find out if you qualify for the program. Amanda and I are here to help anytime.
Thanks so much for joining us.